Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about how to fix your antenna if it doesn't go up. So the other day I went wheeling and this antenna screw here on top came loose, and you guys probably saw that in my other video in the buyer's guide, and I mistakenly left it and didn't tighten it down. And what ended up happening was this thing came off, the antenna came up, and it came right out. I went and found a new replacement cap, and I'm going to show you guys how to remove it and put it back in. This antenna actually came all the way out, so I had to feed it back in. So let me show you guys how to do that. Now most likely your problem is going to be a little bit different than mine, and that is your antenna has actually gone bad. Now you'll probably still hear the motor go on and off inside of the fender here, and so most likely the only thing that's wrong is your antenna mast. And so what you can do is you can take the mast out and replace it with a new one for about $60 for an OEM one, or if you want to go aftermarket it's like $40. I don't really suggest it because it's probably going to go bad again. But all you really need to do is just take apart the motor and clean out all of the plastic that's probably broken off in there, and then feed a new antenna in. Let me show you guys how to do that. Alright, like I mentioned, first thing you want to do is take off this cap. You'll probably need a flathead. Mine's already loose, but you can put it on one of these grooves on here, and then you can just hit it with a hammer really lightly and it'll actually come right off. So once you take this off, and you can pull this cap off now, you can run your radio and the radio will bring the antenna up, and what you can do is you can either pull it out manually or you can just let it fall out. Let's see. So you can see there, that's exactly what happened on the trail. And you can pull it all the way out like that, and you can see it's still running, but that's okay. So you see here, maybe you can't see it that well, but there are actually geared teeth on this mast, and what ends up happening is over time these teeth get old and they start breaking off, and they break off into the motor here. So unfortunately you can't just go and buy a new mast and put it in because there's still all that crud in there, so you have to take it apart and clean it. So let me show you guys how to do that. Alright, so before you go and buy a new motor or a new antenna motor, this is what an antenna motor looks like. So I actually went and bought another one because I needed the cap, and the guy would only sell me the entire unit. He only charged me $9. I was going to pay him $5 for the cap anyways. But you can see here, you don't want to go and buy a new motor because it's going to be a much bigger job if you do that. And you can see here it comes with the antenna. So you would have to fish this entire thing through all the way to the radio, and it'd be a nightmare. So I suggest you check and make sure this motor is still moving, and if it is, then really you just need to take out the antenna and put in a new one. So let me go ahead and tear apart the fender here and show you guys where this guy is. So you'll need some 10 millimeters. Mine have a couple of push button caps in here because I was clearancing this area, but 10 millimeters is all you need. So it does help to turn the wheel maybe a certain direction. It kind of helps. Alright, so mine's already loose here, as you can see. Don't really have that many bolts holding it on. And just kind of fold it out of the way. And then right behind there is where the antenna motor is. Let me see if I can get you a shot. Alright, so right up here is where that antenna motor is. You can see here, I'm wiggling a little bit and it's moving the antenna up top. And all you need to do is take that 10 millimeter that you got and just undo that bolt. And there's a connector in here, so don't forget about that. And the connector is right up here, so you can undo that. And then once you do that, you can take this whole thing out. Like that. Now I'm not going to take it out, but I'm going to show you on the other unit. And just remember that connector up there. But I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside so you know where to clean it. Alright you guys, you probably won't be able to take it out all the way because of this antenna, but you'll be able to get it out a decent amount. It'll probably just be hanging out of the fender, but all you need to do is undo this electrical tape here, or whatever tape this is, and we can get access to the motor. You'll probably have to replace this tape once you're done with it because it's probably gonna not be reusable. So my antenna, this one still has the antenna in it, but I'll show you what it looks like when you open it up. Alright, so let's just remove some of these screws on the outside here. Try not to lose track of them. Alright guys, here's what it looks like opened up. You can see it's got all the sealant on there. And you can see this is the antenna mast that's already in here. And so you have to take all of this out and clean it all out. And mine's still in here, so normally this is not in here, but all you need to do is just clean out any crud you see in here. There's like little bits of plastic in here, and then just put this little ring back on, which, you know, I kind of can't right now because this antenna's in the way. But yeah, once you get that all cleaned up, then you can just put this ring back in and reseal this back up and then put it back in the vehicle. Let me see if I can remember how all these screws went back on. Alright you guys, now that it's fully assembled, I know yours is going to be next to the fender. It's going to be a little bit harder for you guys. But all you need to do is put this bag back and then just tape it back up as best as you can. Probably won't hurt to, you know, tape it back up so it doesn't actually accidentally go all the way back up. But you can see here it's pretty much exposed on the bottom, so I don't know if that really helps. But we're gonna go ahead and go back to the vehicle now. I know you guys are already at the vehicle, so I'll show you guys how to put this back in. It's pretty much a reverse process. Alright, once you've done cleaning it back up and, you know, put this little weatherproofing on back on here, you can just stick it back up there in that hole. You actually have to line it up with the top, so that way it goes through the hole. Alright, once you line it up on top, there's a little hook in here for the bolt. And just put the bolt back in. And just tighten that bolt up. And then don't forget about your connector up here. Just connect it back in to the top connector. Go ahead and put your fender liner back on. Alright guys, now that the fender's back in, we go back to the top. Alright guys, before we feed the antenna back in, I wanted to show you guys, this is the orientation that it's in the fender here. It's like this. And so you can see this wheel, you know, spins this way and spins this way to put it back up. So when you feed the antenna, you want the teeth facing the front of the vehicle. So I thought I'd point that out before you guys try feeding it in any other way. Alright, so grab your new antenna that you just bought, and in my case this is just the one that fell off on the trail. It's still good. And what you want to do is first turn on the radio. Alright, so you can see the antenna is going to go all the way up. It's going to set that motor where it needs to be. And then we're going to feed this guy through. It helps to have a partner. If you don't, you can just try to reach in and turn off the radio. Alright guys, so what you want to do next is pull out your antenna all the way up, since the radio is on right now, so that means the antenna is normally all the way up. And then, you know, as much as you can anyways. And what you're going to want to do is get this ready to be fed in. So I'm going to have somebody turn off the radio, or I'm going to do it myself, wait for the motor to come on, and jam this wire all the way down in here until it grabs. The gears will grab it. I mean, you can pre-do it like this if you want. You just won't be able to reach the radio now unless you have a partner. And jam it down there, and the gears will grab it, and you'll want to guide this thing through. And make sure once it hits this, this white part that it goes in a little bit smoothly. Alright, let's see if I can do it by myself. Here goes. Oops. Oh, did it. Alright. Alright, that looks pretty good. So you don't want to turn the radio back on right now because it'll just come back out. You want to put the cap back on now. And hopefully you have enough threads here, and if you don't, you can put this on first a little bit. So here I got a couple threads on, and you can just pull it up a little bit to get it up higher. Sometimes you might not have enough threads to lock it in once this is on. But let's go ahead and try it now. looks like I'm good. And you don't need to tighten that up all the way yet. Let's turn the radio back on and see if it works. And then turn it off. Alright, there you go. That's it. Now my antenna doesn't go all the way up because I accidentally left it on while I was going through a car wash and it kind of bent it a little bit. I tried to rebend it back, so it's kind of lost some of its travel. But now you just want to tighten this up with that flathead again. Stick it on here and tighten it a little bit so it doesn't come off again. Try not to lose this one on the trail again. Alright, that should be it, guys. That's a fully functioning antenna again.
For an emergency, you can prepare by mapping out 2 ways to escape your home, creating a supply kit, and including your whole family.
Alright you guys, another successful repair. As you guys saw, it was pretty easy to do. Just remember, don't buy the motor unless you really need one. Otherwise it's going to be a much bigger job. Fishing that antenna all the way through the the back of the radio here. I'll leave a link down in the description for the antenna that I use. This is an OEM one. It's about $60. I got it off Amazon. If you guys like the video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you guys like content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And if you guys have any questions about the repair, let me know down in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a nice day.